One of the hardest things in life is facing obstacles that we don't understand. When something blocks our path, our first thought is, why me? We want to remove every problem instantly, not realizing that some struggles are secretly helping us grow. This story will remind you that not every difficulty is your enemy. Sometimes what looks like a burden is actually the reason you'll bloom later. There was once a quiet valley where the air smelled of flowers and rain. In the middle of this valley lived an old gardener named Henry. He had silver hair, calm eyes, and hands worn from years of care. People said no one could grow beauty like Henry did. Every color of flower seemed to obey him: red roses, golden tulips, white lilies. His garden looked like a living rainbow. Each morning, villagers would pass by just to watch him tend his plants. He rarely spoke much, but when he did, his words carried quiet wisdom. One day, a young apprentice named Owen came to learn from him. Owen was energetic, full of ambition, and believed every problem had to be solved quickly. One morning, while preparing a new patch of soil, Owen noticed a large stone buried in the middle of the field. It was heavy, uneven, and stuck deep. Owen frowned. "Master Henry," he said, "there's a huge rock here. It's in the way. Should I dig it out?" Henry looked at the stone for a moment, then smiled gently. "No," he said, "leave it there." Owen was confused. "But it will block the flowers." "Nothing will grow around it," Henry chuckled softly. "The garden will decide that." "Let it be." Owen didn't argue, but he couldn't understand the old man's calmness. He wanted the garden perfect, no flaws, no obstacles. Weeks passed. Owen watered the soil, planted seeds, and cared for each flower exactly as Henry taught him. Everything began to bloom. Bright, fragrant, full of life. But there was one spot, around the stone, where the soil remained bare. Frustrated, Owen muttered, "See? I told you nothing would grow there." Henry smiled. "Patience, my boy. Every patch of earth has its own time." But Owen didn't believe it. He thought the stone was ugly, useless, a reminder of failure in a perfect garden. Soon, summer arrived. The valley grew hot. The sun blazed for hours without mercy. The flowers began to wilt under the burning light. Owen rushed to water them, but by afternoon, many leaves had turned brown. Then something caught his eye. Near the stone, tiny green shoots were growing. They were small but strong, and unlike the others, they didn't burn in the sun. Owen stared in disbelief. He ran to Henry and said, "Look, the plants beside the stone are still alive. How is that possible?" Henry knelt beside the rock and touched the soil. "It's cooler here," he said quietly. The stone blocked the harsh sun, kept the roots safe beneath its shadow. Owen's eyes widened. "So, the stone wasn't the problem?" Henry smiled, his voice calm as ever. "No, Owen. It was the protection. You see, not every obstacle exists to stop you. Some are there to shield you until you're ready to grow on your own." As the days passed, Owen noticed more things he had missed before. The wind broke a few branches, yet those branches grew new buds. A sudden storm flattened a patch of daisies, but days later, they rose taller than before. He realized the garden didn't resist challenges. It grew through them. Henry saw the change in the boy and said, "You used to rush to remove every flaw, but life doesn't bloom that way. A gardener's job isn't to make things perfect. It's to nurture what is there, to trust that even what seems wrong may serve a hidden purpose." Owen nodded, his voice soft. "I understand now. The stone was teaching me patience." Henry smiled. "Yes, and perspective. The world doesn't always show you the meaning right away. But if you stay kind and patient, you'll see that even hard things have their role in your story." Years later, time passed and the valley changed. Henry grew older and Owen took charge of the garden. But he never forgot that stone. He kept it in the center, surrounded by flowers that now grew abundantly around it. Visitors often asked, "Why did you leave that big rock there?" It spoils the view, Owen would smile and say. That stone once saved my garden from the heat. It reminds me that beauty often grows beside hardship. Under his care, the garden became famous across villages. People said it had a strange peace, as if every leaf whispered a lesson of patience. Life will place stones in your path. Some will seem unfair, unwanted, impossible to move. But before you try to throw them away, ask yourself, what if this obstacle is shaping me? What if it's protecting something I can't see yet? Remember Henry's words, not every stone is your enemy. Some stand in your way only to give you shade when the sun burns too bright. So, the next time life feels difficult, don't rush to remove the struggle. Stay patient. Keep nurturing your garden. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that what once seemed like a burden was actually the very reason you bloomed.